Hi again. Today we're going to make a sun print, sometimes called a cyanotype print, or even a nature print. And this is what we're going to use. This is a special paper that is inside a package. And inside the package is a black envelope. Do not open the envelope until you are ready. Very important. This paper is light sensitive because remember, just like my platinum palladium prints, the ultraviolet light from the sun exposes it. So you want to make sure that you don't expose it to the sun until you're ready. So my science and art brain are working together today to produce this print. The first thing I've done is I've gathered together some materials that I might want to use. Natural materials, leaves, flattened pine cone. And I'm going to make a picture from that. I am going to practice first of all and decide what it is I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to use my pine cone and some ferns and place them however I like. If I'm happy with that, then that's the print I'm going to go with. All right, so there's one other thing that you can do and play with when you're making your print, and that's water and salt. And by adding water, you can gently spray over the top of your print, and then a small sprinkling of salt will do some interesting things to your print. And then you go and expose it. We'll do that next. Okay, so when you are ready and you've decided what it is you're going to do, carefully open the bag and take out, I'm going to do two prints at the same time. So I'm going to take out two pieces of paper rather fast because remember, the sun is exposing this right now. I'm going to move my objects where I thought I wanted them placed. And the second one, I'm just going to place some objects and show you how to use that salt. So I'm going to spray my water. And I'm going to sprinkle just a small amount of salt. That's it. I'm going to take my two pieces of black paper, cover over my print, and then I'm going to walk out to the sun. Because it's 1 o'clock, the sun is pretty high in the sky, but it's not directly overhead because I can see my shadow here. So I have to angle my board to match the sun. And it is about this. And then I take off my pieces of paper and I start the timer. Okay, what you're looking for is that the paper is going to turn a lighter gray. And it takes about 2 minutes. It might take as much as 3 minutes. So watch the paper, watch the time, and make sure you record how much time it's taking. So as you can see, my paper is a lot less blue than it was. It started to turn a little gray. And interestingly, my piece of pine tree here slipped. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I'm at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm going to cover this with the black paper to stop it from being exposed. And then we're going to take it immediately to a bath of water. Okay, I'm going to quickly take off my black pieces of paper and shake off my materials. And I'm going to place the prints in water. Get them completely soaked. All right, so once they're in the water, they're going to stay in the water for at least a minute, maybe a couple minutes, and you'll see that we've started to see the blue come back. As the print dries, we're going to take it out right now. Let that water drip off. And we're going to place it somewhere where it will lay flat and dry out. And the blue color will get much more intense as it dries. So here's an example of some of the prints that I made earlier that have dried. And what you'll see is how intense that blue becomes. This one has the salt and water. It's got that sprinkle effect. And these ones are the natural materials. This one's a cutout shape, and this one is my hand, and my hand moved, so I've got some interesting movement shown right here. Just like we did on this one, which we can't see very well. We have to wait for it to dry. Okay, and then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to fill out this data sheet. This will give you some information so that if you wanted to make another print that is very similar, you have the information. It includes things like the date and the time of the day that you were making the print, what the angle of the sun was in the sky, and our angle is about 1 o'clock, so it was about here. The angle you held your board. So when I was making my print, I held the board at about this kind of angle to match the sun. What kinds of materials did I use in my print? How long did I expose it to the sun? How long did I keep it in the water and develop it? And any other printing notes that might be important for you to go back and make a print that is similar. Okay, here's another little trick that you can do. This is hydrogen peroxide. And if I add hydrogen peroxide to my print, some interesting things begin to happen. So one more thing. When you have this composition, after you've added hydrogen peroxide, you might want to use your iPad to take a photograph of it when it's wet, because these colors will not stay as it begins to dry. This is a temporary thing. So use the iPad, make another photo.